I became the black sheep of my family before I even knew what that meant. Growing up, I was my stepfather's son, and I was actually treated differently for not being of his blood. And his family members would actually single me out, and they made it clear that I wasn't one of them. I was treated very differently. I was actually attacked by them on multiple occasions. Even while I was sleeping, my stepfather's father would come in and attack me, when I was sleeping as a little kid. And, you learn real quick that life isn't comfortable and it's just changed into survival mode at this point. Um, you learn to read people's moods a lot faster. You learn to pick up on certain small little um ticks or things that like set someone off. And you learn to be just someone who just pays attention to everything around them a lot easier. And I'm actually making this video specifically because I feel like there's people out here that understand that side of life growing up. Instead of being protected and in comfort as a child, they had to learn how to adapt and survive in their environment. Well, welcome to the bonfire. Grab a seat, and we've got some things to get into. So, the reason that I'm even making this video is because I just wanted to share what it's like being someone who is a black sheep of their family and things that I've learned and seen over the years. For example, there's a lot of places that you'll drive by, and you may be driving on the highway and you see these places. They're very dark places, and you know that you would never take your family to go eat anywhere near these places. They're not well lit, and you just feel the darkness that's radiating from them. But you drive past it every single day, and then one day you start driving by there, and you notice that that dark place now has police tape all around it. Now, finally, that darkness that's always been there has come to light, and in the most horrific way at that, something horrible has happened. And that's the place that I understand the most. I understand this hidden darkness that's tucked away in society, and I live there. And it's not just me that live there. It's millions of other kids who live there as well. Little innocent children live in this darkness that is all consuming, and the only time that it's revealed is once something so horrific has happened and can't be undone, that the police are here now. Now things have changed forever. The darkness is revealed in the most horrific of ways. And you know, I've been seeing a big rise in children going through these traumatic instances. And it's really heartbreaking to see these videos. You'll see kids who are starved, you'll see kids who have been so severely um hurt by their protectors that they're just begging the police to not even take them back home. They're just begging, "Don't take me back home to mommy and daddy." And that's just I am just so completely at a loss of words for how horrible and traumatic it is for someone so little and so innocent to be going through something like that. Um, for me, I had to run away from home a lot actually when I was growing up. Um, the funny thing is, once I actually started going away from my family, my grades and actually everything in my life started to improve a lot more drastically. For a long period of my time, I lived in poverty, and it was so bad that like I didn't even think it was bad at the time, but like just to give like an instance of what was going on in my life. I mean, I just had a singular Pop Tart and an Arizona sweet tea. That was my breakfast for like all of high school. Like that's all we could afford. I'm sure that wasn't conducive to a growing kid's brain, but that's what I got. Um, I actually didn't even have jackets. I had to go to the lost and found and act like I had lost my jacket there. And I would just take random people's jackets because I was cold, during the winter. I mean, I literally had no options. And like I said, there's, hundreds, maybe millions of kids who are in that exact instance, stealing to survive. And that's part of what I'm talking about. Like once you're a black sheep in society, you can't unsee these these things that everyone else refuses to see. Those dark places that I was talking about, I lived there. I I drive by them to this day, but I understand what's going on there. And then everyone acts shocked once, something has happened there, but I knew that it was going to happen all along because, no one's taking things serious. They're not taking it serious that, people are at their wits end, they're not raising their children right. They're succumbing to their addictions. For me personally, I actually had to get rid of some people in my life. Not just family, but friends as well. I'll get into the family part in a second, but I want to focus on this friend part. You know, I would put all of my eggs in a basket and like do anything to help a friend out who was in need. It didn't matter what it was. Oh, you need moving. I live 3 hours away. I'm coming this weekend to help you. I would do anything. I didn't get paid or anything. I would do anything to help a friend. But as the years passed, some of these friends they unfortunately devolved into horrible people. And I'll give an example. I remember seeing my friend's second child. Um, his wife had given birth, and I met the child and everything. I thought everything was cool, hunky dory. Everything's fine. Go to visit him a month, literally a month later. I go to visit him, and he's got this new girl with him who's cheating on his wife and showing her around. He was giving her a piggyback ride, actually. Funny enough. And then he was talking about how, yeah, she was like trying to stop me from leaving the house. So I pushed her down to the ground. And he said he laughed about it. And keep in mind, this is the mother of his children he's talking about. I had just saw your wife a month ago. Now all of a sudden, you're with this new girl, you're giving her piggyback rides and laughing about how, like, you know, you hurt her. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure you're not even supposed to um I mean, don't get me wrong, you're not supposed to hurt anyone, but especially like maybe a month after delivering a child, I'm pretty sure women are way more fragile in that state as well. And I just had to cut this person off. I mean, I I can't I can't be around people like that. It didn't matter that I was friends with him for like ten years, like there's some there's things that you do in this world where it's just inexcusable. There's acts that you can commit in this world where, you may be forgiven by God, but I mean, you can't be forgiven by society or something like that, if it's that horrific. I mean, violence against children, that's like the biggest no-no that I can think of. And, I mean, hurting women, that's also a big no-no, at least in my book. Um, yeah, I just think society has devolved so horribly, and it feels like sometimes I'm the only person that can see it. I lived in these dark places and now I just see all this suffering and pain around me. And I try and help the best I can, but I'm almost limited in my capacity to do things. But I still try my best, donating money. I'm actually going to probably try and volunteer and do some stuff, maybe in the future, just to try and make the world a little better place. But I wanted to focus on this a little bit more. Um, Sometimes you just need to cut people out of your life that it's not that they're holding you back, which they are if they're horrible people like the ones I was sharing before. You will destroy yourself trying to maintain something that isn't meant to be. If you're a black sheep like I was, well, I still am, regardless of if I have a family or not, I guess that's my title, right? You know, you have to accept the hard truth. And that hard truth is that they don't love you. Just accept it. It's hard. It's really, really, really hard. Like, pick up the clues, pick up the hints that they're telling you. They don't try and see you. They don't try and help you. They don't say they love you. They don't do anything that shows you that, they have any love for you. Just take the hint. They don't care that they ruined, a big portion of your life. Childhood is supposed to be a time of learning, growing, making mistakes. People like me, I didn't get the chance to make the mistakes because there was so much happening around me that I didn't get to learn by making my own mistakes. Other people were making mistakes and hurting me because of them. And that's just a whole different world to live in. It's hard to even articulate to another person who doesn't understand what life was like. I mean, um, I gotta give it out to anyone who was like me and you had to couch surf or do whatever you had to do to eat. That was me. I was living with people when I was a teenager. Anyone, mainly friends if I could, but I had people offer to let me stay at their houses, and I probably should not have done that, as a kid. And I could have been kidnapped or trafficked. I had no idea what was going on. All I could think about was survival and where my next meal was, and not being in an environment where I wasn't wanted. I was being threatened. My parents were trying to kick me out before I was even 18. That 16 to 17, they were dead set. They were telling me you're going out on the street. As soon as I can get you on the street, you're going on the street. What am I supposed to do? And you know, the, it's just like I don't even understand why people are judging, millennials or Gen Z as much. It's like look at the parents some of us had. It's like you did not even get a chance to succeed. Thank God I somehow through an absolute miracle I managed to succeed in my own way. I could have fell into the drugs. I could have fell into the alcohol. I could have fell into, the hub addiction. I have to censor, the P word because, YouTube doesn't like that. So, people are addicted to the hub and, they just want to take out their aggression on their loved ones when it wasn't even their loved ones who probably caused their aggression. It's someone else at work. It's someone else who did you wrong back in the past. But, people like me, who are, black sheep, or you don't even have to be a black sheep. If you feel lonely, if you feel like you're forgotten by society, if you feel like you have absolutely no one, you're in the club too, man. You're or woman, you're in the club. You're here with me. And all I got to say is you just got to keep it pushing. That's all you ever can do. I remember there being days I had no idea. I had literally no idea how in the world it was going to be possible to even make it another day. I I can literally remember the exact moments. It's crazy. But if you have, special people near you, hopefully, even if it's one person. Luckily for me, I had my fiance, during my darkest times, especially with my whole family situation. She was like, "You have to let him go." And eventually I just stopped fighting it. How many times can I put in all the effort to maintain something that isn't even supposed to be mine now? It it isn't it isn't that I didn't want a family. It just isn't in the cards. But what is in the cards is to learn from all these things that have happened. It's easy to become those people, that started this cycle, this generational trauma. It's so easy. It literally is to go back those two generations and live live their life again. It's so easy to do. The hard thing is to look at how much has this hurt everyone around them and not repeat the same mistakes. For me, I just don't want to make those same mistakes again. I want the cycle to be broken with me. You know, I hope it's broken before, my kids ever have to go through something like that. I don't even want it. I don't even want it. I want it broken right here. Just chop it off, in my heart, whatever you got to do. Just don't let it pass on. And the only way we're going to stop that from happening is, just got to work hard every day to, be the better version of yourself, you know? And I'm not saying it's easy because it's not. It's easy to fall into temptation. It's easy to fall into the lust. It's easy to spend hours hating another human being. That's the easiest thing you can possibly do. Spend an hour trying to figure out how to fix society. That's hard. That's hard, you know. The world just wants you to be angry. It wants you to keep producing the same results. But if we keep getting the same results, that's all we'll ever have, you know? I feel defeated sometimes, hopping up on here and making these videos, but I got to. There's there's people out there that need to hear this message. There's people that need to survive tomorrow. They need to survive today. If it's just one day, sometimes it's enough. Just prolong it one more day. Just do anything you can to keep going one more day. And I'm just really hoping that this hits the hearts of people that really need to hear it. You know, I really want to put out content that really actually changes someone's life. Someone out there really needs to hear things that people just they refuse to talk about it. We live in a society where you just cannot talk about anything anymore. You cannot share your emotions to another human being. If we were to be truthful about what's going on in our lives, it would just break apart all the stigma and just like normality of like everyday life. I mean, sometimes you need to literally say like, "Hey, how's your day going?" and say, "Hey, my day is actually going shitty. Can you like talk to me for a minute?" I would rather someone say that than them have dead eyes and just say, "Yeah, it's okay, I guess. Can I have some coffee?" I don't want to be living the same everyday life cycle. It feels like I'm living in a loop. Every single day is the same. I don't want to do that. I want to be, part of the change. I want to be someone who breaks up the monotony of like just all the craziness around us. Every single day I'm seeing more and more videos of people talking about, something changed in society, something switched, despair, doom, gloom, blah, 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 blah. I'm I'm tired of it. It's easy to say, look over there. There's darkness. How about we look to the right and see the lamppost that's illuminating a beautiful forest or something for God's sake, you know? But I really hope that this was something that someone needed to hear today in the audience. I really, really do hope that this reached the right person because it's kind of hard to put yourself out here and say these things. It I've never done this before, it's a little difficult, but I don't care how difficult it is. If it literally helps another person continue one more day, I'm going to do it. How I feel and what can be achieved, like I care less about how I feel and more about what's going to be achieved by me doing these things. So I would really appreciate if you guys actually really do enjoy these videos. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really greatly motivate me to continue to do stuff like this. And I don't want to push only one certain type of content. I want to be an all around, kind of guy. I'm kind of a jack of all trades, you know. It's kind of funny. I think of jack of all trades, but master of none. It's like I'm good at a lot of things to a certain degree, but I'm not a master of it. But maybe that's kind of what makes me unique. I have all these little skills and they kind of line up in, a certain specific way to like, I don't know, just make me the kind of guy that hopefully y'all guys want to watch. So yeah. I think that is going to do it for this video. So, sorry, I know I already said it, but, like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if this reached you, and I'll definitely read every single comment. So, yeah, that's going to do it for now. Catch you by the bonfire. Peace.